folks, trying to figure out what's wrong with the camera. This is my new SJCAM. It's rattling like crazy and I can't figure out why. I never even noticed it right away because I don't always watch my videos. At the end of the day when I get home I just load them into the computer and save them for later on when I get to them. So I finally noticed it, and it's to the point where I can actually hear it rattling when I'm driving. And it's just, I don't know what's doing it. I thought maybe it was the power cord rattling on the roll bar, but with the gelling in the video, it's obviously the camera itself that's moving. Everything seems tight. When I put the camera in the frame, it holds it nice and tight, but only this camera does it. And I use my H9 camera, it's nice and steady. So it's obviously just this camera, and I thought maybe, the insides of the camera aren't tight or something, and it's the actual lens that's moving. But if I put it in the waterproof case, it doesn't do it. It's only doing it in this open frame. I just can't figure it out. So it's, the only thing I can think is it's a slightly smaller size, so it doesn't fit in the frame completely, because I thought maybe the frame had stretched or something, but like I say, the other camera doesn't do it. It's just this camera. So unfortunately this problem is going to persist for a while. I do come up with a temporary solution that seems to work for a while. But I'm not entirely sure what's going on here just yet. I made a decision, and today is the day. The floodplain looks like it's dried out enough that I can drive across it, and I'm gonna see if I can get to the river. So, not only do I have the rattling camera, I've got that stupid creaky hinge. Yeah, it's so difficult. The nylon spacers in the hinges, they dry out and they get really sticky and they creak, and it's really difficult to get them lubricated because everything fits so tight. And the lubrication that I use, I can get it in and it'll last for maybe a week or two, and then the creaking starts again. I think I might need a thinner lubricant or something. I don't know, but it's a constant problem anyways. So what I'm looking at here is I want to get between the trees. Yeah, I got this kind of swampy ditch and I'm not going to be able to cross it. So my goal is to actually get to the river, just sit at the river. A little bit bumpy, but the monster handles it no problem. Now, one thing I want to point out here, you notice that you can't see the display panel on the monster anymore. And there's a reason for that, and I'll get to that in a later video. I don't know this problem yet, but I do know what this is a symptom of, what's coming up. So, one thing I want you to pay attention to is watch where I stop. This is the typical place when I come down here. I stop at the same place every time, right here at the edge. And this is gonna come into play a little bit later in this video. So just kind of pay attention to where it is I'm actually stopping. So, I sit down here, I'm happy I made it to the river. It's nice and peaceful. I'm not far from the road, but I'm actually really not getting that much noise from it. It's really, really peaceful here. And once all the vegetation starts growing in, it gets nice and tall, and that it seems to cut out some more noise as well. And it's such a beautiful place. And this bare area that I'm parked in, and where I'll be standing, it stays bare all summer. I'm not sure why, but nothing grows in this particular spot. So it's a nice place to sit. And fortunately, our rivers are kind of I'm not sure if they're polluted. The other river has a sign warning not to swim with high bacteria levels, and I'm guessing because the rivers are actually slow moving, that they collect the heat and the algae grows. And we do have a bit of an issue in Canada with the blue-green algae in the rivers and the lakes, so it's kind of a dangerous thing. So that's one of the reasons I probably won't be sticking my feet in the water here. Another reason is that, as you can see, in most places where you can see, except for that almost like a little beach area across the river there, is the banks are really steep. And my neighbor was talking to me one time. He's talking about fishing and that, and he says our rivers are really hard to fish in because the banks are so steep and that. We get some pretty raging waters coming through here, so it might just be erosion, I don't know. But if you look to my right, just under the water, you can see kind of a ledge. It's about maybe 3 or 4 inches deep, and then the edge just drops off, and it's like really super deep under there. So I don't know, but I probably won't be going in the water here. And I liked about the Hanover Park, yes, get off the scooter and just walk through the water a little bit. But not likely to happen here. So I'm happy I made it. So I'm gonna give you a bit of a panoramic view. You can see how steep the banks are in this shot. A nice view of the highway bridge in the background there. So what I plan to do is, when I come and go, I'm going to follow my same tracks each time. Just kind of keep the vegetation down, keep it from growing up. And I don't really know exactly how tall this grass grows in here, so I want to keep it mowed down as best I can. And I know you can't really tell from the video, but it's actually, this is a swampy area right here. It's actually a little bit muddy underneath the surface, and the monster tires are spinning a little bit in it, so that's got me a little bit concerned. So next time I come down, I'm going to go around this particular spot. Other than that, I'm just going to keep following my trail. Keep it obvious, I guess you could say. Now, with the problems that I've been having with the monster, I'm kind of babying it now, being really careful. And going up this hill here, it's a pretty steep hill, so I'm making sure I'm not hitting anything that's going to lift the tires off the ground and cause them to spin and suddenly stop again. I don't want to put any undue stress on the motor. I'm not going up full throttle or anything. So I'm just kind of taking it easy, being as gentle as I can. So I've also noticed, I've mentioned about the fire department being constantly busy and everything. So I've also noticed that ambulances are quite a common occurrence here as well. I hear them several times a day sometimes. A couple days later, I make my second trip down, and this is in the evening. There's less light, so the aperture in the camera is wide open, and with the camera rattling around, this is why it's getting a little bit of motion blur. So I'm kind of looking at things as I'm going, and I'm going to avoid that swampy area this time, so I'm going to go out and around it, and hopefully I don't find any hidden obstacles that the floodwaters have deposited in here. So the nice thing is this swampy area isn't all that wide, so it's not too much to go around it. Once again, the monster handles it no problem, as long as I'm going slow. It is pretty bumpy in some places. And once again, excuse me, pay attention to where I'm stopping. Be the same place as last time. Right at the edge of the water. And then again, when I'm leaving, I'm following my tracks going out. It takes me a second to find it. This is why I want to keep following the same path, so I can clearly see where it is. And because I just started this path, I'm gonna see if I can find a slightly less bumpy area. So I'm not completely 100% in my previous tracks, and just kind of off to the side a little bit. See if it's a little smoother than the trip out here. But other than that, I'll be following the same area. A couple days later, and my third trip down to the floodplain. I'm doing a photographic tour today. I got my Canon with me. Get my first set of pictures from Wingham. And I'm across the floodplain, following the same track I had last time. And remember where I've been stopping? At the water's edge. And this is why I've been telling you to watch where I stopped. I didn't stop here. The monster actually stopped. I didn't quite make it as far as I normally do. And I have no idea what's happened, but the monster just went into error mode. And I have no idea what caused it. So, I just decided, well, this is where the monster wants to stop, then this is where I'll sit. I turned it off, turned it back on, and everything's fine. But, like I say, I have no idea what caused this, and my brain's going crazy right now trying to think, okay, what just happened? But this is going to happen over the next little while. It turns out this is the precursor to the next major problem that the monster's going to have. I don't know that yet, though. So, for the moment, I'm just trying to think, I've been doing any work on the monster? Have I changed anything? And just everything's going through my mind right now, trying to figure out what just happened. this video is something I found rather amusing and potentially expensive. Thanks for watching.
Lana, hold the ball, hold the ball. Right there. Oh, look, 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 look. Oh, here, oh. Look, you follow that ball. Follow. Follow, ball. Okay. He's up, he's up a tree. He's up a tree. Look at this. It's incredible. Oh my goodness, just stay right here. Okay, keep it on, huh? Right there. Okay, everyone keep an eye on that ball. Because we need that camera back. Oh my gosh, this guy's flying. Okay, keep it back, keep it back. Okay. Okay, you see him in the bushes, right there. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, you got the phone. Okay, take it.